Or fewer in 22 of their 39 games, and they're just 8-14. But that 8th win came last night at the hands of the Blue Jays. They won 3-2. Let's take a look at their lineup. Top of the order, Eric Ibar. He's riding a 10-game hit streak against the Blue Jays. 16 hits during those 10 games and a .340 average. He also has a 10-game hit streak going overall. Cole Calhoun, career against the Blue Jays. He's got 5 home runs and 11 RBIs on the .340 average. The home run he hit last night against Aaron Sanchez was to left field, his only opposite field home run of his career.
How about that? Showing some pop. This is the 9th time through the rotation for the Blue Jays, and Drew Hutchison will get the start tonight. He has settled down after a couple of rough starts with an excellent effort last time out against the Houston Astros. 6 innings, 2-run ball. That was down in Houston. He left that game with a 4-2 lead, and the bullpen just could not hold it. He had a season-high 9 strikeouts in that game, and he has held the lead in every start at some point this season.
And he has been self-critical about not being able to make those leads stand up. He said, I have really worn out the bullpen, and he's determined not to do that. Hopefully he'll be able to pitch deep into this game tonight. Hutchison is 0-2 against the Angels for his career. Here's the first pitch of the game. It's in there for a strike, and we are underway. These Angels like to swing it. They characterize themselves as hitters, so they go up there with that swing mentality.
This guy right here will do that from the leadoff spot. He will come up there swinging the bat.
That's a pitch that Hutchison needs, that inside pitch, but he needs to throw strikes with it. That'll buy him a little more room on the outside half. Hutchison ahead 1-2.
We talked about it in the opening from Drew Hutchison about the fastball command has been a lot better. He's been able to elevate his fastball when he needs to. His slider, I think, has had more depth, and he's been able to throw it in better spots so far of his last couple of outings. That's what you want to see from a starter. Go out there, go deep, have fastball command.
He went around. He chased that breaking ball. Martin did a good job of blocking that ball. Ibar is tagged out at home for the strikeout. Let's take a look at the defense behind Drew Hutchison. The Blue Jays as a team have committed 22 errors. That's the middle of the pack in the American League. Once again, it's Valencia, Carrera, and Colabella. Carrera starting in center field in place of Kevin Pillar, who's played every game this season. Josh Donaldson and Ryan Goins, Steve Tollefson and Edwin Encarnacion from third to first on the infield. Russell Martin makes his 35th start behind the plate. Mike Trout 1 for 9 in this series. The reigning American League MVP.
Blue Jays have pitched him tough over the years. They have kept the ball above his hands. Good pitch right there. He's a low ball hitter for me. He can go down and he can get that ball. 10 home runs this year, 6 of them to straightaway center field. Shows you the type of power that he has.
Chases that slider. Hutchison with a couple of strikeouts. He had a season high 9 strikeouts in his last start at Houston.
That's exactly what we talked about in the opening. Be able to command the fastball, and when you need to put away a hitter, drop that slider on them. It's got a lot more depth than at the beginning of the season, meaning it's moving a lot more. Right there, you see him get on top of that ball and just bury it with 2 strikes in the dirt. It looks like a fastball out of his hand, and all of a sudden it drops. And that's why you'll get a lot of check swings and a lot of swings and misses.
Albert Pujols goes after the first pitch and grounds it to shortstop. Nice start for Hutchison. It took him 8 pitches to retire the side in order. Jeff Weaver will go to the mound when we come back. in last night's game. They managed just 2 runs on 4 hits. So let's take a look at the lineup. Josh Donaldson leading off, and he has been terrific, hitting out of 1 hole. He is 6 for 11 with a pair of home runs and 4 RBIs. He had leadoff home run in yesterday's game. Edwin Encarnacion in that 3rd spot, career against Jared Weaver. He is 3 for 8 with a homer and 3 RBIs, and there aren't many guys in this lineup that have done much against Jared Weaver.
He's had a lot of success against the Blue Jays. He's starting to round into form. His first 6 starts, not your typical Weaver, ERA over 6. Then he threw a shutout against the Houston Astros and just 1 run in his last start. That was against Baltimore. In fact, he's had 16 consecutive scoreless innings before a home run in the 8th inning by J.J. Hardy. His ERA in the month of May, just 2.5, so he's really rounding in the form.
Josh Donaldson set. Here's the first pitch from Weaver. Just off the plate outside. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Donaldson, 316 for the season. A homer in last night's game, his 9th. Weaver presents all sorts of problems for hitters. He's big, 6'7". He has a crossfire delivery, and he's got arms and legs coming from everywhere, and you can't pick up the baseball.
Deception is a big part of his game. Steps to that third base side of the mound and throws across his body.
That's hard hit to center, but Trout was positioned perfectly. Donaldson is retired. The Angels have played good defense. They've only committed 2 errors in their last 9 games. In the outfit is Matt Joyce, Mike Trout, and Cole Calhoun. On the infield, David Freese is back at third base. Eric Aybar committed one of those 2 errors that came in the game yesterday. Taylor Featherstone moves to second base tonight. Albert Pujols, the 2-time Gold Glover, and the catcher is Carlos Perez.
Carlos Perez was a Blue Jay farmhand before he was traded to the Houston Astros. 8 games in the major leagues. He made his big league debut on May the 5th. That was 2 weeks ago. Angels are 6-2 in the 8 games that he has started this season. This is just his 9th big league start.
Curveball bounced back to the mound. Weaver backhands and throws Bautista out. 2 down.
Let's take a look at Jared Weaver and what he features. He's got a little bit of everything, and look at how evenly distributed all those pitches will be. Fastball is just at 83 miles an hour for Weaver. He'll cut the ball like he did against Josh Donaldson. He's got a slider, a changeup, and his curveball measuring at an average speed of just 67 miles per hour. Everything is about even with him. Now, the curveball, I think, is a very important pitch for him. He'll really take a lot off of it, put it where he needs to be, but they're hitting 351 against that curveball this year. Jared Weaver's going to have to use that, I think, tonight to keep him off the fastball.
Weaver made his 7th career opening day start this year. There's another ball off the end of the bat. Taylor Featherstone has plenty of time, and Encarnacion is retired. It took Weaver just 1 less pitch. 7 pitches for Weaver to set down the side in order.
Host our annual Blue Jays Care broadcast auction. It's all going to take place here at the Rogers Center. If you're in the building, come up to the WestJet flight deck. You can make donations. You can also bid on a matter of many odd items that are going to be up for grabs. If you're at home watching the game, you can call in. Ivanka Osmak will be hosting from here all throughout the game tomorrow. There's $50 and $100 gift packs you can bid on. There's also some great prizes. We'll tell you about a lot of them as the night goes on. But do not forget to tune in tomorrow to the Blue Jays auction. It is presented and also for the Blue Jays Care Foundation. Buck?
Mary, it's a great event, and we want to remind all of the viewers to tune in tomorrow night. It's helped grow the event. Last year they raised $255,000 in a one-night auction. And it's largely in due to the efforts of all of you viewers and the callers that call in and make your auction bids and make your donations. So we want to thank you ahead of time and make sure you tune in tomorrow.
And let's try and reach their goal for this season, $300,000.
This is Cole Calhoun. Mentioned his career average against the Blue Jays, .340 with 5 homers and 11 RBIs. 2-0 to Calhoun.
You and I asked Aaron Sanchez today about the home run that he gave up again, the first career opposite field home run in Cole Calhoun's career down the left field line, and Aaron said it was a fastball that was up, and he didn't think it was going to be leaving the ballpark, but he just got enough of it and got it over the wall. Aaron was outstanding last night, wasn't he?
He was very good, and he learned a lot about himself last night. In fact, if you throw strikes and create a little movement, you got a chance to succeed. But one thing he was disappointed in, once again, those walks reared their ugly head. He had 3, but they had an impact. That's a fair ball. Conachon steps on the bag, and Hutchison comes all the way back from 3-0. Well, the Blue Jays' future is very bright in the rotation. When you look at the young guns, and Osuna's out of the bullpen right now. He's the youngest Blue Jay to pick up a win, just 20 years old.
Aaron Sanchez, just 22 years old. He looked outstanding in last night's game. And then Drew Hutchison, again, he's been around for a while, but he's still just 24 years old, making his 9th start of the season. The Blue Jays, they add in as that ball's hit on the ground. Don't forget about Marcus Stroman and Daniel Norris. I mean, there are some young pitchers who are getting their feet wet at the big league level, and I think the future looks very bright for the Blue Jays.
That's how you control your destiny. You have a whole bunch of young pitchers, and you hope 3 or 4 of them hit and become long-term successes. Osuna possibly could even move to the rotation down the road. 20 years old, they're doing a great job of breaking him in. And he picked up his first big league win here the other night, and actually on Monday afternoon, to become the youngest Blue Jays pitcher to earn a win.
He's pitching a lot. He can handle it, first of all. He says he's up over 20 innings already.
Drew Hutchison throws a strike to Matt Joyce. Joyce, in his first season with the Angels, he was traded from Tampa Bay for Kevin Jepson. And there's a hit, and that's going to split the outfielders and go in the alley. Carrera cuts it off, and Matt Joyce will jog into second with a 2-out double. First base runner to reach for the Angels. That's his 6th double of the season.
Joyce very familiar with Drew Hutchison because of the Tampa Bay ties. There's a breaking ball. He wants to sweep that one down underneath the bat, but it stays in the middle of the plate. And Joyce gets all over that one. You can see that good form right there on a breaking ball. Keeps his hands back and drills that ball into left center field.
A 2-out double now. C.J. Cron. He had one at bat in this series. He was a pinch hitter. Ball is knocked down, and Joyce couldn't identify where the ball was, so he couldn't move up. Russell Martin didn't know where it was either. But as a base runner in scoring position, you got to locate that baseball.
Blue Jays got some help right there as that one hits the home plate umpire. You can see it ricocheted off of the leg of Russell Martin, then hit the home plate umpire, and it dropped straight down.
C.J. Cron pinch hit Monday afternoon against Aaron Loup and flied out. And he's a good fastball. It's a ball on the strike.
Yeah, he's a good fastball hitter. He's got some power. Just 1 home run this season in 28 games. He can swing for the fences.
That hit Russell Martin. It was a check swing foul down into the catcher, and it sounded like it got a lot of meat, maybe the top of his left thigh.
Fastball runs up. Let's see. You can see Russell. He catches on one knee at times, like he is doing now, just to get that lower target for his pitcher. And that time it hit him right on that leg.
1-2. Buried that breaking ball again. Joyce has to stay put at second. You know, we saw Sanchez yesterday with such an even tempo and a rhythm, and that ball just flew out of his hand, and the breaking ball was wicked. I think a lot of pitchers can take something out of that start by just thinking about just play catch with the pitcher or with the catcher. You play catch with the catcher, and that ball's going to flow out of your hand.
Get that ball out in front. Throw it out in front.
Ground ball. Goins at short. In time. A 2-out double. The Angels leave a runner at third base. Russell Martin will start things off for the Blue Jays. He's hitting .406 in the month of May with 4 home runs.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Welcome inside Rogers Center as the roof is closed. It cooled off on Monday. It was a nice afternoon, 23 degrees, and then it dropped dramatically last night. It started the game outside. It was 12 degrees. So summer was short this year, Pat.
That's it? No more? It's over?
Russell Martin takes that first pitch breaking ball. 69 miles an hour. He throws that curveball very slow, and everything else is about the same. It'll be lower 80s, but that curveball really drops off in velocity. Bouncing ball. Ibar on the run throws Russell Martin out.
The velocity has been going down for Jared Weaver, but that hasn't been a problem for him. You can see over the last 6 seasons, it was just about 89, 90 miles an hour. Each season it's going down just a little bit more, but that hasn't been a problem. He said in his last start, his fastball command, and command is more important, has been very good. He doesn't care how hard he throws it. He needs to throw it where he needs to get outs, and he's just been outstanding over the last couple of years with that fastball command. You mentioned the curveball in the mid-60s. He has the unique ability to take a lot off of that curveball and spin it and still put it where he needs to get outs.
He's got a terrific feel for it. His older brother, Jeff Weaver, of course, a fine big league pitcher in his own right, threw a little bit harder, different style of pitcher. He was more of a sinker slider pitcher. He had a big sweeping breaking ball as well. The impressive thing of Jared's career is he's 60 games over 500. There's that slow curveball once again, 69 miles an hour. Chris Colabello cooled off a bit. He's hitting .365 for the season. He is 0 for 6 against Weaver. But think about that, 60 games over 500. I mean, that's what you want from your starter. As we mentioned, he has made 7 opening day starts for the Angels.
Isn't a starting pitcher's job win the ball game? Pitch long enough and effective enough that you win the ball game? Well, he has done that his whole career, ever since he came out of college. Again, he can spin the baseball. This is a breaking ball. You see him snap it right out in front, and it goes from a strike to a ball and totally fools Chris Colabello.
Yeah, that was more of a slider, a little bit harder than that slow curveball. This is Ezequiel Carrera. He's playing in center field for the first time this season. Tries to bunt and take that ball with him and bunted right through it.
I remember when Weaver was coming out of college and he was eligible for the draft, everybody said he was the best player, but he kept falling in the draft. I don't know if it was signability or what. The Angels said, wait a minute now, we got a pretty good pitcher here. Gave him what they needed. They've had an ace for a long time.
They sure have had an ace for a long time, and he is a terrific control pitcher. He doesn't walk anybody. He's got good numbers against the Blue Jays. For his career in 12 starts, he's 9-2. He's also pitched very well here at Rogers Center. This is his 5th career start. He is 3-1 overall.
That winning percentage of .818 against the Blue Jays is the best against any competitive team that he has pitched against in his career. He's also won 3 out of 4 games here at Rogers Center. So it doesn't matter home or road. He has pitched very effectively against Toronto.
Took a little bit more off that curveball. That one just over the speed limit at 65.
His last start in Baltimore, he threw Chris Davis a 64-mile-an-hour curveball. Davis said he could have swung at it twice. He said he probably would have come up empty twice.
Carlos Perez, the catcher, in his first year with the Angels, said he got on the same page with Weaver back in spring training. And there's a changeup. Another good inning for Weaver. He strikes out a pair, 6 up, 6 down for the big right-hander to start the game. Independent pitching is .410, and Pat, it really suggests that he's pitched a lot better than that 6.17 ERA might indicate.
Well, it's based on a couple of different things, but his batting average on balls in play this year against Drew Hutchison is 341. That is really high. And what FIP does is it takes out things that the pitcher can't control and talks about things that they can control. The strikeouts, base on balls, hit by a pitch, and home runs. Those are the 4 factors. And then you factor in with the batter's ball in play. It takes out defense and what the ball does when it leaves the pitcher's hand. And a high FIP like that at 410 suggests that, well, it's lower than his ERA. It suggests that he's pitching better than what his record indicates.
Yeah, better than the ERA. And I think we could agree with that when you really watch what he does from start to start. I think the surprise has been he has had those comfortable leads and hasn't been able to get out of the 5th inning.
Well, he's given up a lot of bleeders. He's given up a lot of broken bat hits. One other sentence that I saw when I was looking at that, since FIP is calculated so that league average FIP is always the same as league average ERA, it's an earned run scale, not runs allowed scale. So it has to do on how you really, when you let go of the baseball, takes out all the other variables that could happen.
So it's a new metric that a lot of people are putting stock into. Taylor Featherston, a ball and 2 strikes. Carlos Perez lined out to right on 1 pitch, and there's strike 3 to Featherston. Caught looking at strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts for Hutchison. First time through the order.
Yeah, the first time that they got him looking. This is a slider. Again, a lot better depth, and that time it freezes the hitter. It's only given up 1 hit. First time through.
Back to the top of the order, Eric Ibar. He was a strikeout victim his first time up. Ibar has hits in 14 of his last 15 games. And that prompted Mike Scioscia to try him in a leadoff spot, see if they couldn't get a more consistent table setter. Hutchison starting to feel it. You can see how he has picked up the tempo of his pitching.
Working a little bit quicker. Not a lot of time in between pitches.
Missed trying to go in and missed up and away. That's where a young pitcher needs to recognize how you make the adjustment on the next pitch, not 2 or 3 pitches, not in between innings, right there on the mound. Right in the same spot.
Yeah, and look where those 3 of those 4 pitches are, up and away. And he gets in trouble, Hutch does, when he hurries and gets out there a little bit too quickly and the arm drags and he gets underneath the ball and then he starts shooting it up. He's got to stay back just a little bit and drive through the ball.
There are 2 common phrases about hitting and pitching, and one with the hitters, they say you got to know where the barrel of the bat is. Well, in pitching, you got to know where your hand is. Your hand is going to dictate where that baseball goes, so you've got to be able to lead with your hand.
He talks about that all the time, about staying on top of the ball with his hand.
On the ground, backhanded by Goins. Quick throw in time. Another good inning for Drew Hutchison. 3 up, 3 down in the 3rd. It's a scoreless game. Bottom of the 3rd. Valencia, Goins, and Tallison against Jared Weaver.
Babcock will be their new head coach, and tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific, the Leafs will introduce their new head coach in a news conference that you can watch live on Sportsnet. Guys, this is a big one for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, it sure is, Barry, and of course Mike Babcock has a very impressive resume, including coaching Team Canada, so it's great news for the Maple Leafs, and we'll meet Mike Babcock tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. This is Danny Valencia. Valencia goes after that first pitch. 85 miles an hour. Once again, this is a great reminder that pitching is not all about velocity. It's about location, movement, changing speeds, and Jared Weaver is the master doing that.
He talks about that all the time. Fastball command. If I can throw it where I need to, I know I can get outs. 86.
86.
And he locks up a hot hitter. We've been watching it for 3 years for Mark Burley.
Yeah.
On how to pitch.
Carlos Perez couldn't hang on to that foul tip. Weaver came out of Long Beach State. He was a first-round pick, 12th overall pick in 2004. And he was a dominant college pitcher, maybe the best pitcher in the country that year.
That's why I thought he would be in the top 5, because everybody's looking for pitching, but he kept falling, and I think it had something to do with his contract demands. When it got down to the Angels, they said, wait a minute now. Let's don't forget this is a pretty good pitcher who's going to be close to the big leagues also.
He was 37-9 in college with a 243 earned run average. Ground ball up the middle. Featherston from the shortstop side of the bag. Won't have time to throw out Valencia. First base runner to reach against Jared Weaver. Valencia's got a couple of home runs against Weaver. That's just his 4th hit in 16 at-bats.
Left side of the infield playing Danny Valencia to pull, so no chance for Ibar to get that. Featherston does, but cannot get enough on that throw over to first base.
One of these days we're going to have all the information about how many hits the shift is responsible for. You play that straight away right there. Ibar makes the play on it.
That is a great point. You know, we always hear about the shifts, all the home runs and base hits that they're taken away. How about the base hits that are a result of the shift?
Routine ground balls that are normally caught. This is Ryan Goins. He's 2 for 5 in the series. Looking for his first home run of the year. Goins playing in his 22nd game at shortstop. He pops it up over near the dugout and out of play. I got a question for you.
Okay.
That base hit by Valencia was up the middle on the shortstop side of second, but the second baseman fielded it. Is it a hit to the second baseman?
I just put infield hit. I didn't say where.
Well, I always put him in the scorebook like base hit to 4, and I put base hit to 4, but I draw a line as to where it was, so I remind myself.
Can you do M? M for middle?
Middle? Yeah, base hit middle, 4.
Base hit. Infield hit middle.
That's the old Phil Rizzuto line. What'd you put in the book? WW. Well, what's WW? Wasn't watching. Oh, that was close. Weaver with a quick throw to first, and Pujols put the tag on Valencia, but he's back in safely.
Timeout. Yeah, they want to take a look at that one more time.
Yeah, this is close.
Looked like he was leaning just a little bit. The Blue Jays, the bottom of the lineup, they really like to play hit and run and try to do something offensively. Start that runner. And it looked like Danny Valencia was flinching.
You saw Dino Ebel, the bench coach, hang up the phone as he checked with the video staff. Valencia not showing any signs of running there.
Yeah, he took a step back. And plays like that, managers have a tendency to take the hit and run off. If they were going to do something and then the guy almost gets picked off, they take it off and try something else.
Weaver doesn't walk anybody, so he's going to be around the plate. at the top of the zone. Goins thought it might have been high. He asked home plate umpire Paul Schreiber, is that as high as your zone goes?
I hope so. Can't go any higher. It's going to be out of the zone.
Well, that's what you ask. You don't say that was high. You say, oh, that's the high strike. Got to keep the umps on your good side. See, it worked.
He wanted to.
Yeah, he flinched a little bit. It's a full count now. You probably start the runner. Even though Weaver has a couple of strikeouts, it's a good opportunity to put the runner in motion at first.
Yeah,
Valencia with an infield single.
Just get something going right here. Let's try and stir it up offensively.
There he goes. Going strikes out. Perez throws. Not in time. Carlos Perez didn't have a good grip on the baseball. He double clutched. And Valencia is able to steal second.
Perez has been great throwing out base runners, 3 for 4 this season, and catchers caught stealing. It looked like a changeup down and away. He had to deal with the swing, and then he had to double clutch, and by that time, too late. Valencia steals it. You can see he was playing hit and run, but with the double clutch, that allowed Valencia to pick up a second stolen base.
Valencia really put a lot of stress on his left ankle when he slid over that bag. I think he came up a little bit gimpy, but he slid hard into the bag. His foot rolled over the top. He caught his toe on the edge, and then it really bent his ankle back. That's his second stolen base in as many tries. Tollison hits it on the right side. Featherston has it. 2 down. Valencia moves to third on the ground out. So 2 outs now. Back to the top of the order. Josh Donaldson lined out to Mike Trout in center. Donaldson has really enjoyed hitting in this ballpark. Donaldson for the season has the 3rd highest OPS at home. His OPS here at Rogers Center is 1.166. Russell Martin's just ahead of him. Josh Reddick of the A's has the highest home OPS. Ground ball. Freeze has it, takes a few steps and throws out Donaldson. Danny Valencia gets the first hit against Weaver, but he's stranded on base. We'll go to the 4th. It's a scoreless game.
Presented by Acura. Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Lots of folks at Jay's shop getting all their new merchandise for the 2015 baseball season. Mike Trout goes after the first pitch and hits it into the seats down the right side. Trout struck out his first time up. Each team has a single hit. That's it. Matt Joyce had a double in the second. Danny Valencia had an infield hit. Another foul into the seats. This is one of the most interesting matchups. The Blue Jays against Mike Trout. And he's aware of it. He knows he doesn't hit well against the Blue Jays. This time they throw him a fastball. They struck him out on a breaking ball the first time up, and Trout is aboard. Albert Pujols will step in. Pujols is a 3-time MVP, 2-time Gold Glover. When you look at Pujols, where he ranks among active players, he is first and second in most categories.
Yeah, home runs and RBIs, he's second to A-Rod. First in doubles, first in OPS. His average, how about that average for a slugger and a run producer to have that career average of 316? Only 3 players better than him.
Miguel Cabrera, Joe Mauer, and Ichiro Suzuki are the only 3 better than Albert Pujols. And another thing to think about, there are only 9 active 300 hitters in all of baseball. And Pujols has done that since day one, 2001 with the Cardinals. Trout thought about it, but Martin gets on it quickly. I asked Albert today about how pitching has changed since his first year with the Cardinals. And he started out by saying not much has changed, but, well, you don't find any more 88-mile-an-hour fastballs. He said, especially out of the bullpen. Everybody throws 95, 96. He said, that guy we saw Sunday in Baltimore, we got a scouting report that he threw 93, 94, Stephen Wright. He threw 97 and 98. He said, everybody throws hard. That's the biggest difference. I also asked him about the shifts. He said, yeah, there are a lot more shifts now. He said, but all they're trying to do is mess with your head. He said, if you go up there and change your swing trying to go against the shifts, then they've won.
He's always been a hitter, though, who has hit the ball where it's pitched. I mean, that's why he's hitting 300, 316 in his career.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, if you hit 330, you use the whole field, obviously. I said, Albert, well, I never hit 330.
Well, they got a shift on him right now. And if they shoot a ball away from him, if they pitch fastballs away, he's not going to try and pull it into the shift. He'll hit it the right field. He's always done that.
He thought that pitch was inside. He had a quick glance back at Paul Schreiber, the home plate umpire.
You and I were talking the other day, and we're, all right, who is playing today that is a surefire Hall of Famer? And we came up with our list, and this guy was on it, obviously, because of the great numbers that he has put up. Surefire Hall of Famer right here.
The guy at first base, if he plays long enough, going to be in that conversation as well, Mike Trout. But he's just 23. Pujols has been in the top 5 in MVP voting 10 times. Top 5. He's won 3 MVP awards. Did he go? He appealed down to first, and Jim Reynolds said no swing.
Well, how do you get to the Hall of Fame? You come up early, like he did. I think he was 21 years old when he first came to the big league. You get 3,000 hits or hit 500 home runs. He's already got 500 home runs. You win MVP awards, you become the best player in your generation. He certainly has done that. Well, especially when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals, he was the best hitter in his generation.
He played 11 years in St. Louis, hit 328 for his career. With the Angels, he's a 270 hitter. 2-2. Trout thought about it. Oh, that hit him on the wrist. Up and in. And that hit him hard, right on that bony part of his wrist. Mike Scioscia and Rick Smith out to attend to Pujols, and boy, you could hear it hit something very hard.
Boy, it hit so hard, Buck, it sounded like it hit the bats. When it's hit that hard, obviously hit him in the hands. Fastball, it's running up and in, and Pujols cannot get the hand out of the way, and right off of the wrist. Let's hope that he is okay.
Yeah, they do that strength test, and generally if you can manage that, you can stay in the game. He's going to stay in the game for the time being.
You talk to every hitter, you know, you can have a bad knee or a bad foot or something like that, and you can still hit. You get your hands hit like that, you just can't hit.
Now, Jim Reynolds, he noticed the conversation between Encarnacion and Pujols, and I don't think they were talking to one another, but they were talking about something. Reynolds picked up on it. He came right in to make sure they were going to allow the calmer heads to prevail. Cole Calhoun, the cleanup hitter, nobody out. 2 on. Now here's where Hutchison has to regroup. Obviously he had Pujols with a 2-2 count when he hit him. And he's got to gather his emotions and get control of this at bat.
Yeah, one of the things that he has done, I think, over his last 2 starts is he's starting to eliminate that one bad inning. He hasn't been able to stop the bleeding, at least early in the season.
Ground ball. Tollison knocks it down, and by the time he gets it, Pujols is in. Tollison did a good job of keeping the ball on the infield. For the moment, that saved a run. And Pujols with a hard slide into second slid past the bag, but the throw was offline and Goins had to go get it. Now you can see DeMarlo Hale checking with the Blue Jays video room.
You can see Tollison, he's playing deep and playing him to pull. Pujols is going to try and break up that double play. He went hard right at Goins. I mean, he didn't go slide to the bag. He slid to the player, and really, for Ryan Goins, that throw being offline might have helped him. He would have run right into Albert Pujols.
Nobody out. The bases are loaded. David Freese. And now Hutchison is all over the place after starting out with good control. So it's an infield hit for Calhoun. 2 hits in the inning and a hit batter. Freese has 2 grand slams to his credit. He's a .266 hitter with the bases loaded.
One of the things that John Gibbons was talking about the other day about Drew Hutchison is, on top of eliminating the big damage, controlling the damage, that ball up and in as it gets away from him. Instead of giving up 5, make pitches when you're in trouble like this, and maybe you give up 1 or 2 runs instead of that big inning. Right now he's just getting underneath that ball once again, and that ball is, especially to the right-hander, is shooting up and in.
Foul back. For Hutchison, this is his 52nd career start. So he's still in the infancy stage of becoming a starting pitcher. Slider, and Freese lays off. It's a full count. So Mike Trout got it started. He had a 2-strike base hit. Albert Pujols got hit on a 2-2 pitch, and then Cole Calhoun had the infield single to second. Nobody out. David Freese grounded out to third base. Matt Joyce has a double already. He is on deck.
Infield is playing back. They will trade a run for a couple of outs. Right here, this is where a nice little two-seamer, a little sinker would do well for him.
Elevates the fastball and gets a big strikeout. That's 4 strikeouts for Hutchison. That's the first out of the inning.
He can throw it up there when he needs to, and if he needs a strikeout, go upstairs, high fastball. Freeze comes up empty. That's a big strikeout. Now 1 pitch, a ground ball, and he can get out of this with nothing hurt.
Aaron Sanchez got a big double play in the 6th inning in the game last night. That came off the bat of Albert Pujols. Matt Joyce. The double was the 6th double for Joyce.
Make the adjustments right here. Got to make the adjustment. That ball is really taking off on him. You know, one thing he can do is try and throw a breaking ball. Maybe that'll help you get your hand on top of the ball.
Two and 0, 1 out. No score. We're in the 4th. Matt Joyce, you can see why he was upset. Looked like the ball was off the plate outside. Now it's 2 and 2. Hutchison right back in the at bat. Once again, everything is in the same spot. The double that Joyce hit in the 2nd was a slider down and away, but out over the plate. Boy, they've got him set up for anything inside. Slider, fastball. Same type of pitch they threw Freeze.
And they tried. They tried to go in there.
Mike Scioscia's offense has struggled to score runs. C.J. Cron on deck. Fouled off. Another pitch inside, and Joyce hit it right off his leg. The Angels have scored 3 runs or fewer in 22 of their 39 games.
Pulls that fastball inside right off the shin. And that one's going to hurt. As a hitter now, you just got to block that out. Just forget about that. You got to concentrate on this next pitch.
Ball 4. He'll walk in a run. So the walk forces in Trout from 3rd base, and the Angels take the lead. Nothing a manager can do about base on balls, and that is the frustrating aspect. He's hit a batter and now walked a run in here this inning.
That 4th inning for Drew this year has really been a tough inning for him. There have been starts where he's had big leads and then gets knocked out in the 4th inning. I don't know if it's the 2nd time through the lineup where he tries to change his approach to the opposition, or the opposition knows him just a little bit better. It's a good timeout right there by Russell Martin to go out there and talk to his starter.
Last time out against Houston, Drew Hutchison went 6 innings and had a 1, 2, 3, 4th inning. But you're right, he's had several rough outings during the 4th inning of his games. C.J. Cron.
You know, and he has talked about, I've got to do a better job going deeper in the game. He says, I'm killing my bullpen by getting knocked out early in ball games. I've got to give them a little bit more of a chance to catch their breath.
There's a pop into shallow right, and Tollefson goes out, the second baseman. Infield fly rule is in effect. They throw it to the plate, and Russell Martin expected Encarnacion to cut that ball off. It was an infield fly rule, and Pujols wasn't tagged.
He's got to cut that ball off. No chance that the runner at third base was going to try and score Pujols because it wasn't very deep, and you risk. You see that in between hop by Martin. He's like, hey, cut that off. He wasn't coming.
Yeah, you just never know what's going to happen if you got to take a throw on one hop. So now there are 2 outs. Carlos Perez lined out in the third on the first pitch.
Last night's ball game, Russell Martin got a broken bat that hit him upside the head. Tonight, he has had to do this a lot. Blocking balls in the dirt. Good job there. That saves a run.
It'll pop into shallow center. Tollefson out again. Second baseman gets there, and Hutchison minimized the damage. The Angels score 1. Blue Jays will have Bautista to start it, then Encarnacion and Russell Martin. Needed.
Blue Jays Grand Slam Combo Night. If you come to the game and you have the combo, you get a ticket to the game, a hot dog, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, apple, and a soft drink. Tickets start at $45. Go to BlueJays.com for more. I am in on that, Buck.
Sounds good, Mary. Count me in as well. I'm sure Pat will come along. We'll have Grand Slam combo tomorrow. Blue Jays are down by a run to Jared Weaver.
Or 2.
Grand Slam combos.
Yeah, why not?
Bautista grounded back to the pitcher his first time up. Taking all the way. Ball on the strike. Weaver mixing it up a little bit, throwing a few more fastballs to Bautista, all 3 pitches.
You got to be very patient, I think, with Jared Weaver and really track the ball. Bautista, you can see his leg kick. He's trying to get that timing on the fastball, and he just has not been able to. Weaver, again, deception is a big part of what he does. He's got a lot of movement and then throws the ball across his body after he steps to the third base side of the pitching rubber. So that kind of deception and that hesitation, it takes a long time for the ball to get to the plate. Bautista, his leg kick has a lot to do with his timing. He is back on that back leg a long time, waiting for that ball to get to the plate.
No swing, says Jim Reynolds, and Bautista will take the leadoff walk. This has been a rough matchup for the Blue Jays against the Angels. The Angels have won 8 of the last 10 games here at Rogers Center, and they've outplayed the Blue Jays on every aspect.
They get just enough hitting. But what Mike Scioscia's team does, they've got great pitching. They've had a lot of very good pitch ball games here in this ballpark against the Blue Jays. And that just shows you good pitching is going to shut down good hitting.
It has ever since they invented the game. Edwin Encarnacion grounded out to short his first time up. We mentioned Weaver. He's walked 1 or fewer batters in 7 of his 8 starts this season. He walked Bautista to start the 4th after his team scored a run in the top half of this inning. Weaver's so good at throwing strikes, he had a career-long streak of 94 consecutive batters faced without issuing a walk from April 11th through May 3rd.
Amazing.
Well, you got to be confident when you throw 87 miles an hour to throw that many strikes.
He's just got so many pitches, and he can use them at any time. Throw a little bit harder with that cutter. Cutter, curveball, fastball, changeup, slow curveball. I mean, he's got so many different ways to get you out, and then he can locate them.
In that regard, he reminds me of Pedro Martinez. You never see 2 pitches at the same velocity in the same spot in the same inning. And that's all experience, touch and feel.
Yep. For me, it's more like Greg Maddux. How he can take a little something off, put a little something on, throw a slow curveball, read bats, find out the weaknesses of those hitters, and then pitch to their weakness. All with throwing a fastball about 87, 88 miles an hour.
There goes Bautista on the full count. It's ball 4. Back-to-back walks. 2 on, nobody out. Blue Jays are down by a run. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jordan Zimmerman on the mound for the Nationals, and Adam Warren starting for the Yankees. Last night the Nats won on a walk-off home run by Ryan Zimmerman, their first baseman, and he hit it off the big left-hander.
Andrew Miller gave up his first runs of the season.
Yeah, he was terrific. Russell Martin showing bunt. It's outside. So we talk about Weaver and his great control, and he starts walking the first 2 here this inning.
How about that? Bautista and Encarnacion a little bit too fine with them, and now he falls behind Russell Martin. I don't think Russell's thinking about bunting right here. He's thinking about driving in runs.
Russell is 5 for 10 in this series. He grounded out too short. Pull that off the plate outside. It's 2 balls and a strike. There's that slow curveball. He drops it in to even the count at 2-2.
And he can put it where he needs to. And as a hitter, that just messes with your timing. You see it, you just can't pull that trigger.
Big sweeping breaking ball. Another full count. Russell Martin got off to a slow start in April, hitting under 200. Oh boy, he is on fire in the month of May.
Isn't that interesting? A lot of walks in the month of April, 15 of them, but in May he doesn't have any. He's driving the ball and he's driving in runs. How about 11 extra base hits already in the month of May?
Ground ball up the middle. Ibar to Featherston. Back to first, double play. So Weaver, after walking the first two, gets a double play, 6-4-3. Bautista moves to third base, but now there are 2 outs. Chris Colabello has not had much success against Weaver. With the strikeout in the second, he's now 0 for 7 against Weaver. Tying runs at third. What have you seen differently in the way the pitchers are pitching Colabello lately?
Well, just the first at bat by Weaver against him threw him all breaking balls. And he was a little bit too anxious and ended up striking out on a slider off the plate.
There's a base hit, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Colabello ties it up. He's headed for second. Bautista comes in to score, and Chris Colabello, an RBI double with 2 outs, cashes in that leadoff walk to Bautista.
So he strikes out his first time up on 3 breaking balls. Second time up with a runner on, he throws them all fastballs, and he turns on that one. He's got gap-to-gap power. That was a fastball that was up right there, and Colabello whacks it into left field for extra bases.
Colabello has 20 hits now. That's his 5th double, and he is 6 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Ezequiel Carrera waves at that first pitch. Drew Hutchison back in a tie game. He gave one up on a bases loaded walk. It's a 1-1 game. Base hit up the middle. Colabello's around third. Mike Trout will not have a throw, and the Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead. Boy, the Angels play deep in the outfield, and this is such a slow surface that Trout didn't even have a thought of making a throw.
Couldn't even get to the ball. He plays deep. Surprising against Carrera also. Doesn't have a whole lot of power. And with the slow turf, there was no way that Mike Trout had a chance to get him. You can see how deep he is in center field. Carrera sends that one right back through the middle. Look how far he's got to count to get the ball. Ball slowing down, and you can see he picks it up. No chance to get Colabello. So that might be an adjustment that the Angels are going to have to make in their outfield. This is a slow surface.
Carrera now with 9 RBIs and 37 at-bats. He's done a terrific job. Part-time play, coming up with big hits.
Yeah, hitting about 290 now. Do something special when you get a chance to play.
There's a drive off the bat of Valencia. It's over the left fielder's head. Matt Joyce plays it off the wall. Carrera's coming around third. Ibar's throw to the plate is not in time. Danny Valencia, a 2-out RBI double. It's 3-1 Blue Jays.
You know, one of the things missing from the Blue Jays yesterday, hitting with runners in scoring position and coming up with some clutch hits tonight in this inning. This is 3 in a row. Danny Valencia finishes it off. That's a 4-seam fastball right down Broadway. He smokes this ball to left field. The relay from Joyce, the left fielder, was not a very good one. As it bounces away, watch Ibar. He can't set his feet. He's got to go out and get it, catch it, stop, turn around, and then try to get something on it, and he just can't, and that allows Carrera to circle the bases. He's scoring. As soon as that ball got over his head, you can see Luis Rivera was going to send him. Helped out a little bit by the tough relay throw. And really no chance he could have scored standing because that was so slow.
Great job by Goins to give Carrera that slide sign. Throw was on line, but late. Valencia picks up his 9th RBI. Weaver had walked 6 all season long. He walks 2 to start the inning. And after the double play, 3 consecutive 2-out hits, 2 doubles and a single. Then it's 3-1 Blue Jays. Goins hits it in the air to right. Calhoun has it measured. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays take the lead. All coming with 2 outs. Blue Jays lead at 3-1. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
Season game live or on demand in true HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. MLB.TV Premium also includes a free At Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details and a look at the app tonight, guys. And Seattle Mariners, who come to town this weekend, have an early 3-0 lead on the Baltimore Orioles.
Well, they sure do. And Justin Ruggiano has a home run in that game, and that came off Wei-Yin Chen. Boy, if there was ever a need for a big 0, it's right now for Drew Hutchison.
Yeah, a quick 0, too. Quick 0, get back in there. Get the boys hitting again.
It's a fly ball down the right side. Long run for Colabello, and it's going to be out of play into the seats. Well, the Angels have been pitching so well. And they gave up 10 runs here on Monday afternoon, just 2 last night, 3 here this afternoon. Coming into this game, they had held the opponents to 2 runs or less in 11 of their last 13.
That's where it all starts, right? It starts on the mound, you pitch well, catch the ball, you're going to win your share of ball games.
One and 2. Popped up over near the Angels dugout. Russell Martin over, and that's out of play. Russell got up on the railing. He's feeling pretty good tonight.
That was interesting.
You just never know what's on those steps. Watch Martin as he comes over pursuing this pop-up.
Yeah, he's going to jump up, use the fence as a defender, and then jump into the dugout. How about that for an athletic move?
That is Paul Sorrento, who is with the ball club, helping him out there. Little ground ball to short. Owens throws out Featherston.
Russell Martin getting his sprints in tonight. Pop-up, he thinks he has a chance at it. The ball is fading back. He said, you know what, I don't want to run into this wall. I think I'll just hurdle it. And then thank goodness there was somebody down at the bottom there to catch him.
Well, you just never know what's down on that floor. There might be a helmet laying around or something, or you skid, but that floor is all rubberized, and once he hit the spikes down there, he was okay.
You can't stop. I mean, he could have gone down the steps from the dugout that goes down into the clubhouse, if not for Paul Serrato to catch him.
Ibar quickly behind 0-2. How did he hit that thing? Picked it right off the ground. Oh, 2, 1 out. Blue Jays have a 3-1 lead. We're in the top of the fifth. Wouldn't chase that breaking ball. Two and two. Now it's a full count. Mike Trout is on deck. He singled and scored in the fourth. Bouncing ball. Tollison to his right takes the high hopper and throws out Ibar. 2 down.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
2 outs. We talked about the young guns for the Blue Jays tonight. Roberto Osuna, Aaron Sanchez, and Drew Hutchison. Well, there's another young gun that pitched tonight down in Dunedin. Jeff Hoffman, a 2014 #1 pick of the Blue Jays, pitched 5 innings tonight. He's coming off Tommy John surgery. He gave up 4 runs on 8 hits, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 3. Mike Trout deep to center field. Carrera back, looking up. Home run, Mike Trout. For Trout, that's his 11th home run to dead center. You mentioned his center field power, and that was a no-doubter, hit off the facing of that backdrop in center.
That's 7 of them now to dead center field. He is a good fastball hitter. He got an 0-2 pitch last time, a 0-2 fastball that he banged back through the middle. That started that 4th inning. He would come around to score. Here's another one. About belt high over the middle of the plate, and he hammers that thing to center field.
Well, Trout homers. That's the good news. The bad news is Albert Pujols is out of the game. This is Mark Krause, who was the DH in the opener on Monday. Pujols got hit by a pitch in the 4th. Took a shot on that left wrist, and he's out of the ball game.
There's 2 strikes and a pitch that got away from Hutchison and Albert right on the hands. I'm telling you, that thing hurt. You can see him in pain as soon as that ball hit him. And I was watching him last inning when he was out on the field. He kept taking his glove off and trying to stretch that hand to see how it feels. That is never a good thing when a hitter gets hit right on the hands like that.
Obviously a concern for the skipper. Strike 3 called. Hutchison strikes out Krause, the pinch hitter. Mike Trout hits a 2-out home run. It's a 1-run game. 3-2 Blue Jays.
Our guests of TD. Meanwhile, over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse are some very special guests from Ronald McDonald House, a fantastic charity.
Absolutely, and we want to welcome all you folks into the Jays Care Community Clubhouse. And a reminder, tomorrow the auction will take place on behalf of the Jays Care, and make sure you check that out. You saw Mark Krause, the pinch hitter, taking over defensively at first base for Albert Pujols. Steve Tolleson, the second baseman, he is 2 for 8 in this series so far. Another curveball at 65 dropped in there for a strike. Devin Travis still trying to recuperate from that sore shoulder. Not in the lineup again tonight. There's a fly ball to left. Matt Joyce comes in. Tolleson's retired, 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Nelson Cruz batting .347 for the Mariners, playing his first game back in Baltimore, where he had such a good season last year. He led the majors in home runs as an Oriole.
So we'll get to see his bat. We get to see King Felix, Canadian James Paxton,
and Taijuan Walker. It'll be Taijuan Walker and Aaron Sanchez on the Sunday afternoon game, the finale of that 3-game series. Jim Reynolds is the crew chief. He's down at first base. It's a 3-2 game. That's the score of the game last night. Angels won at 3-2. Boy, another big slow curveball, and that's the one pitch that is basically a change of pace. It's so much slower than all of his other pitches.
You see it, you want to swing at it, but you got to wait. You got to wait a long time. 68 miles an hour.
That's a straight change. An assortment of soft stuff gets Donaldson. He is 0 for 3 so far.
And the ability to throw it where he needs to. He's got good command of all his pitches. You can see that ball roll right off of his fingertips. Josh Donaldson sees fastball. It ends up being a changeup, and he's right over the top of that ball. Well, I like how Perez and Weaver are working together tonight, and this is just his 9th start in the big leagues.
Perez was with the Angels in spring training, and Mike Scioscia has high expectations for all of his catchers. And I asked Carlos today, I said, is it difficult working with Weaver? He says, no, Scioscia makes us watch the side sessions and talk to the pitchers about where they want us to sit, what they like to do.
And Weaver says about Carlos Perez, he says if he puts a sign down that I'm not happy with, he understands what I'm thinking and he goes right to the next pitch. So they've been pretty good together.
Another changeup. Perez was catching at Lansing in 2012 with the Blue Jays. He caught Aaron Sanchez, Noah Syndergaard, and Anthony DeStefani. Bautista pops it up on the right side out into shallow right. Featherston is out there and makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 6th, and here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
Auction, and one of the big items up for bids is the broadcast experience. It includes a tour of the truck, behind the scenes look, and of course a meet and greet with Buck Tabby and our good pal here, Jerry Howard, who does a fantastic job on the radio. You may get to meet Joe as well. He may want to meet you as well. But it's a great item. Meeting Buck and Pat is a big one. I'm hoping I can do that one day myself. But you want to bid, it is going to be one of the ones that's going to go for a lot of money tomorrow night.
You betcha, and we'll have a great opportunity to meet those fans, the successful bidders in that auction. Come up to the booth and have a chat, talk about the game, and let you know that we've got a lot of help up here ourselves. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for that broadcast auction. It's all hosted by Ivanka Osmack. She does a terrific job.
And the broadcast experience, if you've never had a chance to go into the truck and watch how they put this show together, it is really cool. It is really something to go behind the scenes to see how and what goes into putting the game on television.
This is David Freese after Calhoun flied out to right. Ground ball up the middle, through past Tollison. He tried to keep it on the infield. Well, the truck is where everything starts with the broadcast crew. You can see Doug Walton and the director, Troy Clara. Andrew Stokely is in the audio, and all the guys are doing a great job. Dan Brenner is a switcher, and that's the guy that goes from camera A to camera B and switch 5 and go to the replay. Mike Sparks is the best replay guy in the business, and they do a terrific job. You get a chance to go down there and see what takes place in that truck.
It is really cool. We've had a lot of people come through and get a chance to watch that, and they're just amazed at what goes in putting on a broadcast.
The best advice I ever had in my broadcast career was when Tony Kubek told me to go sit in the truck when I was first starting out. When I wasn't broadcasting, I'd go sit in the truck, and it teaches you patience because they have a lot of things on their plate. We sit up here and want a shot, and they think about other things. Matt Joyce drives this to left field. Danny Valencia is back in the alley. makes the running catch. Freeze was all the way to second. He retreats quickly to first.
That ball kept slicing back to Danny Valencia and eventually ran it down. When it was off the bat, it looked like it had a chance for 2. But it sliced right to the left fielder, 2 down.
C.J. Cron will bat with a man at first and 2 outs. Cron hit his first 2 big league home runs right here at Rogers Center last May. His first home run against Jay Happ on May 10th, and he hit his second off the reliever Steve Delabart on May 12th. So he has fond memories of Rogers Center. 2 outs. Drew Hutchison trying to strand the base runner at first. There's a line drive to left. Danny Valencia is right there. The 1-out base hit. They stranded runner at first. Drew Hutchison leaves the 6th with a 3-2 lead. Produced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Mike Trout hit a 1-out or 2-out home run in the 5th. That made it a 3-2 game for Trout. That's home run number 11. Drew Hutchison has the lead. Encarnacion, Martin, and Colabello for the Blue Jays. Weaver is unpredictable. He will just throw you anything at any time. As a catcher, that's a real joy to work with because you can almost put anything down there and he can throw it for a strike.
You can go over the scouting reports and you can say, okay, what this guy has trouble with? Okay, he's got trouble with the slow curveball. Well, you can keep feeding slow curveballs and he could keep throwing them, put them where you need to, maybe bust them in at certain times.
There's a line drive hit on a rope, but Matt Joyce is there. Encarnacion hit it hard.
That would have been nice to see Edwin get that ball airborne. Just could not get on top of that high fastball.
Stanley Cup playoffs are on now. The Rangers at the Lightning. Game 3 on now. Terrific series, and what a game they had last night. Chicago and Anaheim. 3 overtimes. Terrific hockey game. Russell Martin has gone 0 for 2 so far. So 2 ground balls too short. Double play in the 4th. That changeup floated up and in. 2-0. A curveball missed. It's 3-0 now.
The way Russell's been swinging the bat, I got to give him the green light right here. If he feels comfortable on anything from Weaver.
Wasn't close. Weaver upset. That's 3 walks in the game. Remember, he came into this game having walked 6 all season long.
Well, one thing they have going for them, they've got one of the lowest percentages when they walk people, them coming around to score. Been able to get out of those innings after the walk.
Just 19 of 112 walks have come in to score. It's just 17% that's coming into this game tonight. So they have the pitchers and the defense that can eliminate the impact of those base on balls. Tonight, one of the walks has come in to score. Jose Bautista with a leadoff walk in the 4th. He was the first Jays to score.
Yeah, he almost got out of it. He had back-to-back walks to open up the 4th inning. Got the double play by Martin, but this is where they started the big 2-out hits. 3 in a row. Colabello, Carrera, and Valencia. 2-out base hits that knocked in runs.
There's a drive to center. Mike Trout gets back, and remember, he plays deep to begin with. Colabello hit it hard, but right to the center fielder. So there are 2 down now for Weaver. Ezequiel Carrera had an RBI single in the 4th. He singled to center to drive home Chris Colabello. Carrera's been a pleasant surprise. That RBI was his 9th, hitting nearly 300.
Getting the start tonight against Jared Weaver, giving Kevin Pillar the night off. Pillar had played in every game so far this season for the Blue Jays. He's played the most innings this year.
Yeah, he's done a terrific job. Started out, of course, in left field with Pompey in center, and then he has taken over in center field. And you know what? Good for him to have a day off. He didn't hit on the field either. He just took the whole day off just to clear his head a little bit, take a deep breath, and regroup. He's done a good job.
Yep, and nothing wrong with that. Might have gone down to the cage and hit a little bit, but he told Brooke Jacoby today that he did not want to hit on the field.
1-2. You know, we mentioned that 1-2 count, and look at Jacoby. He's talking to Tollison about keeping your head on that ball, making sure you don't let it drift, especially when you're facing a lot of off-speed pitches like you do with Weaver.
Be patient. You have to be patient with him.
Russell Martin bounced off first like he was going to run, and then Weaver picked up on it. Mike Scioscia insists that his catchers know the entire pitching staff. He says you have to know what they can throw to get ahead, what they can throw to get back in the count, and what they can throw to finish an at bat. It's interesting too. He has a chart that he lays out all of the counts and shows you where to go. 0-1, okay, use this pitch. And then if you go 1-0, the hitter's count, you have to remember use these pitches. And then he makes all of the catchers go over those charts in their mind. Short hopped, and Ibar will beat Martin to the bank. The inning is over. Blue Jays leave a base runner. We'll go to the 7th. It's a 1-run game. Jays are up 3-2.
Saturday, it is Junior Chase Saturday, presented by Boston Pizza. Special price tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats after the game. Kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Go to BlueJays.com for more details, and if it's a nice day, there are plenty of activities for the kids to do outside before the game as well.
It is a great day for the families, and the kids get to come out and enjoy the baseball game, and then after the game, they get to run the bases, and everybody has a good time, and hopefully it'll be a nice sunny day. The roof will be open, and it'll be a great day indoors and out. Carlos Perez. We mentioned Perez was with the Blue Jays, and he was traded to Houston initially. He was involved in the Jay Happ and Brendan Lyon trade down to the Astros.
It made a splash, didn't he, when he first came up with the Los Angeles Angels, made his major league debut and hit a walk-off home run for him.
Good way to endear yourself to the team right away.
How about that? Hi, my name is Carlos, and I just hit a game-winning homer.
Hutchison knocks it down, and Perez is going to reach. Hot shot right back to the mound. Hutch got a glove on it. Going to be a leadoff single for the Angels catcher.
And the slow turf just ate that one up again. Right back through the mound. Right off of the glove of Drew Hutchison, and just rolls out to second base. Normally that's got enough steam on it that it's going to make it all the way to the second baseman. But the turf chewed that one up, slowed it down, and it's a base hit.
We're in the seventh. Steve Delabar is starting to crank it up for the Blue Jays. That's the sixth hit for the Angels. Hutchison has a 3-2 lead. Look out. That bunt attempt as Featherston squared around. It was up and in. He had to bail out.
Boy, that's why I hate when players start to square around and a ball like this gets away from you. You got to get out of your way. He does the right thing. He doesn't fully square around where he's facing the pitcher. He keeps his feet still and just turns towards the batter, or excuse me, the pitcher, and then he can just duck out of the way.
Hutchison hit Albert Pujols on a choo-choo pitch in the fourth. Very similar pitch up and in. Pujols got hit on the left hand and left the ball game in the fifth. Squares again, and this ball is bunted to first. Encarnacion goes to second. They got him. Good play by Encarnacion. And he acknowledged Russell Martin after the play as if Martin hollered second, and they get the lead runner.
Well, first of all, the runner at first base, Carlos Perez, does not have a big lead. At first, you can see he's got 2 feet on the dirt, and now he doesn't run that well. You can hear Russell Martin yelling 2-2-2, meaning second base. Perez, or excuse me, Encarnacion comes out firing and gets Perez at second base.
And keeps the double play in order. Good communication. Eric Ibar hitless in 3 at-bats. He's got a 10-game hit streak against the Blue Jays and an active 10-game hit streak overall. He has struck out and grounded out twice.
Featherston's got a good lead at first base.
Boy, he does. A foot on the artificial surface, and he has to dive back in.
And he's getting back easily.
He has just 1 steal, and he's not been caught.
There's another throw over to first base.
A little closer.
Noticed that. They have noticed that he has gotten off on a big lead. He has had some pretty decent stolen base years while he was in the minor leagues.
High success rate. 14 of .320 last year. There he goes, and the pitch is swung on. The throw is high and inside on the first base side of the bag. Goins tried a swipe tag as he was flagging down that high throw from Martin.
49 steals in the minor leagues. He's only caught 15 times. Second stolen base this season. They play hit and run. As you see Ibar swing at that ball, and that might have distracted Martin just a little bit. It's a good lead. You can see him peek in to see where the ball is. And it's a stolen base.
Look at how shallow the Blue Jay outfield is now. And I know Ibar's not a power hitter by any means, but they understand how slow this outfield is. Ibar's a singles hitter.
Yeah, not really a guy who's going to drive it, but they are very shallow. It just takes a long time for that ball to get to the outfielder, especially when it's on the ground.
36 of the hits Ibar has this season are singles. So you don't play him deep normally, but you have to address the slow surface, play even shallower. Russell Martin tries to block it. There's the throw to third. It's not in time. Martin might have got that on the meat hand. You heard it hit flesh.
It sounded like another breaking ball in the dirt. And this one gets by just a little bit. Heads up base running to move up 90 feet. It's another breaking ball buried in the dirt. Let's see where it hits. Yeah, right off of the forearm.
So the infield is really in tight. Featherston at third. Full count. Mike Trout is on deck. He homered in his last at bat. Ground ball. Their contact play is on, and they've got Featherston in a run now. They put the tag on him. Good execution as they keep Ibar at first.
You know, Josh Donaldson is such a heads-up ball player. Right when that pitch was delivered, he bluffed back to third base like there was a pickoff play on, and I think that might have froze Featherston. Watch Donaldson right before the pitch is delivered to home plate. Boom. And that just freezes him for a second, and he is out by a mile. That's just heads-up baseball right there from Josh Donaldson.
And then he quickly looks at Ibar to make sure he doesn't get into scoring position. He's a baseball player, but you're right. That little jab step toward third froze Featherston for a moment and allowed him to not have that momentum toward home.
I think he was anticipating that the Angels were going to put the contact play on any ground ball. He was going to try and steal a run. So on that pitch, he picks the perfect pitch to bluff. Ibar hits a ground ball to shortstop, and he's out by a mile.
Mike Trout.
Now, me personally, with Mike Trout coming up on deck, I'm not trying to do that. I want Trout hitting with a runner at third base. If there's a ground ball, I'd rather have Trout hitting with a guy at third base as opposed to first base.
And Trout is 2 for 3 tonight. He's homered. He scored 2 runs, and that solo home run in the 5th made it a 1-run game. (2-0). Remember, Albert Pujols is out of the game. He would be behind Trout, but now it's Mark Krause who struck out as a pinch hitter for Pujols in the 5th. (3-0). Pete Walker went to the mound prior to this at bat against Trout, and it may have been a case of, hey, don't give in to Trout in this situation.
Yeah, he's also got a single and a home run against you.
And he doesn't. He throws him a 3-0 breaking ball.
Put him on.
luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
We're in the top of the seventh. Drew Hutchison with a good outing tonight. He has held the Angels to 2 runs on 6 hits. He passes the ball off to John Gibbons, who in turn will pass it off to Delabar. Steve Delabar to face Mark Krause when we come back. It's a 3-2 ball game. Consecutive strong starts, 5 innings against Boston, 6 against Houston, and now he goes 6 2/3 against the Angels, and he's in line for the win. Runners on base are his responsibility. He gives up 2 runs on 6 hits to this point. Steve Delabar had a third of an inning on Monday. He retired the only batter he faced.
That was Eric Ibar on a fly ball to center field. Power pitcher, fastball, slider, and a good split.
Comes right at Mark Krause. This is his second at bat. He struck out as a pinch hitter in the 5th. That was against Hutchison. All the way back to the screen. Also, Martin was set up looking away. Delabar throws it all the way across the plate in the dirt, and that moves the runners up.
That's a tough one for a catcher, isn't it? When you're set up on the outside part of the plate, you're expecting it out there, and he yanks it to the inside part. Just cannot shift his feet over there, so Russell tries to backhand it, and it's off his glove to the backstop.
Second wild pitch in the inning, and tying runs at third, go ahead runs at second. One and two, 2 outs. Delabar trying to strand a pair for Hutchison. Base hit. That's going to score 2. That'll split the outfielders and go all the way to the warning track. Ibar's in, Trout's in behind him, and Mark Krause has given the Angels the lead. An opposite field 2-out, 2-run double.
First double of the season for Mark Krause. That was the Pujols spot in the batting order. You can see through him a splitter after he blew that fastball by him the previous pitch. And it doesn't really tumble. It doesn't go down in the strike zone to get the strikeout. It catches too much of the plate and a little soft swing into left field. The wild pitch that got those 2 runners into scoring position come back to haunt the Blue Jays.
So Delabar allows both inherited runners to score. It's a 4-3 Angel lead now. Cole Calhoun 1 for 3.
Those runs will be charged to Drew right there, closing the books on him. 4 runs, 4 earned runs tonight.
4 runs on 6 hits. Mark Krause had 1 RBI. He was 1 for 14 before that double. That's bounced off home plate foul.
That is just the second hit that Delabar has given up this year. It's the first hit that he's given up this season to a left-hander. Unfortunately, it's a 2-strike pitch, and it's a 2-run base hit.
1-2, 2 outs.
Also, Martin has had a big night behind the plate.
He's had a tough night. Had a lot of balls in the dirt. 2 wild pitches in this inning on the runners to move up. 3-2 to Cole Calhoun. David Freese, the third baseman, a right-handed hitter, is on deck. Blue Jays have a base open. Might not want to give in to Calhoun on this 3-2 pitch. Jared Weaver has the lead now. And that bullpen for the Angels is quiet. There's a good splitter. Delabar strikes out Calhoun, but Mark Krause entered the game as a pinch hitter, delivers the 2-run double to give the Angels the lead.
Super Camps presented by Baseball Canada and Little League Canada. 2015 stops include Abbotsford, BC, Okotoks, Alberta, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Victoria, BC, and Toronto, Ontario. Go to BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy for more details. The Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. Buck?
And those Blue Jay clinics are terrific. You get a chance to see some old Blue Jays, and they give you some great instruction. And make sure you check out the dates when they come near you. Steve Delabar Struck out Cole Calhoun, but the damage was done with Mark Krause hitting a 2-run double. Danny Valencia, he had an RBI double. He's 2 for 2 against Weaver tonight.
An infield hit, a stolen base, and a big double. Scored a run. Look at that average, 358 now.
Weaver. Blue Jays got to him in the 4th. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits, and he helped their cause with back-to-back walks to start the inning. He has walked 3 tonight, but he has the lead in the 7th. Curveball bounced to short. Ibar takes his time for 1 down.
Swing for the fences and save during the DIY Expert Sale. Only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center.
The Angels may be the best 1-2 punch 8th and 9th inning relievers in the American League this season. Mike Scioscia has Joe Smith and Houston Street to close out games in the 8th and 9th.
Yeah, we saw them both last night.
6 up, 6 down.
Yeah, he picked up the hold and Street got the save.
Ryan Goins takes it inside. Houston Street, the closer, loosening up. He retired to side in order in the 9th after Smith did the same in the 8th. There's a fly ball to center. Trout has room and makes the catch 2 down. The Blue Jays bullpen, they have really had trouble stranding inherited base runners. Steve Delabar inherited a pair and they both came in to score. The Jays have now allowed 40.6% of the inherited runners to score. That's the worst ratio in the American League. Steve Tollison falls behind 0-1. Tolly is 0 for 2 tonight. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Blue Jays once again have scored just in 1 inning. A little chopper toward third. Freese bare hands, throws on the money in time. A quick inning for Jared Weaver here in the 7th. He walks off the mound with a 4-3 lead. Up 4 earned runs on 6 hits. 2 of those runs scored after he left the game. He walked 2 and struck out 5. Threw just over 100 pitches, and he's on the wrong side of this decision right now. He's in line for his first loss of the season.
Yeah, had the lead when he left. A couple of inherited runners came around to score, so now the offense has got to pick him up. Aaron Luke, for the 17th time, will pitched for the Blue Jays. There are his numbers, 1 and 2 with a 6.28 earned run average. He pitched here on Monday afternoon. Loopy pitched 2/3 of an inning and gave up 3 hits and a run to the Angels. Right-handers, he's had a little bit more success against the right-handers this year than the lefties.
He gets ahead of David Freese. Freese is 3 for 10 in the series with a home run. Changeup, and he beats it foul into the ground. Freese is now 31 years old. Actually, he turned 32 on April 28th. Looks like Weaver might be done. Bouncing ball. Donaldson cuts across and makes the play. Freese is retired. 5-3 on the put-up. 1 down in the 8th.
If he is done, he's done his job. He's got his team through 7 innings. And you talk about the 1-2 punch of Joe Smith and Houston Street. Joe Smith warming up. I'm sure we'll see him here in the bottom of the inning.
Mike Scioscia compared Joe Smith and Houston Street to Scott Shields and Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod. He said they have been as consistent as Shields and Rodriguez were in our heyday. They've had some good bullpens.
Yeah. Troy Percival when he was there, pinch hitter for the Angels.
Colin Cowgill batting for Matt Joyce, the left fielder. Joyce finishes up 1 for 2 with a walk. He had an RBI, bases loaded walk. Cowgill pulls it to third. Big hop for Donaldson. 2 down. So Loop gets 2 ground ball outs to start the 8th. The Angels have used 2 players off the bench. Krause came in and pinch hit for Pujols. And right now, Krause has the big hit in the ball game, a 2-run chew-out double in the 7th. Cowgill pinch hitting for Matt Joyce will take over in left. Crone hits it hard, but way foul down the left side. Top of the 8th inning, the Angels have a 4-3 lead. The Blue Jays, again, just 4 hits in the game. That's what they had last night. 2 runs on 4 hits last night, 3 runs on 4 hits tonight. The Angels starters, the best ERA in the American League.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? They'll get another good one tomorrow night from them. That Shoemaker's going to go to the hill for the Angels.
The Angels have won the last 9 road starts Matt Shoemaker has made. There's a ball hit in the air to center. Carrera calls for it. Luke retires the side in the top half of the 8th. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zaun. Joe Smith came into the ball game in the 8th inning yesterday. Last night got Bautista, Encarnacion, and Russell Martin 3 ground ball outs in 3 up, 3 down innings.
Sometimes you got to face the middle of the order, and you need a guy before you get to the 9th, and Joe Smith has certainly done that this year. 19 games, he's 0-1 with a 255 earned run average. He also has 12 holds coming out of that bullpen. That's tied for the major league lead with 12 holds. Righties not having a lot of success against Joe Smith. Fastball, slider, changeup.
Johnny Giovitella comes in to play second base, takes over for Taylor Featherston. Taylor Featherston moves to third in place of David Freese, and Colin Cowgill hit for the left fielder Matt Joyce. He is in left. Smith is a side armor. Josh Donaldson 0 for 3 so far. Fly ball to right. Calhoun is there. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, the Yankees got some tough news when they had to place Jacoby Ellsbury on the disabled list with a knee problem. He has been terrific for the Yankees in that leadoff spot, so they're going to have to make up for the loss of Ellsbury. Jose Bautista is 5 for 15. That's a 385 average against Joe Smith. Oh, he had a home run cut.
Yeah, he's got one thing on his mind right there. He's trying to lift it out of here.
Bautista homered off of Cesar Ramos, and it was the hardest home run the Angels have given up since 2012. It left the bat at 117.2 miles an hour. It was a rocket.
It took about 0.2 seconds to get out of here. That's why Joe Smith is so tough. He can make that ball sink in on right-handers and then make that ball go back the other way with that slider. A lot like Darren O'Day. Shows you a different angle with that pitching arm.
Bautista gets a piece of it. Boy, Bautista's thinking Darren O'Day for sure.
I hope so.
He's got 4 career home runs against O'Day. Smith throws a little bit harder than O'Day, and he's got that real late cut slider. Bautista 0 for 2 with a walk. He scored in the 4th. Bouncing ball out in front of home. Perez gets on it quickly and makes a terrific play. 2 down.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Double-barreled action for the Blue Jays. Hendricks, the right-hander. Cecil, the left-hander. If the Blue Jays don't score a run, chances are it'll be Hendricks.
Save situation. It's Brett Cecil.
Another chopper right back to the mound. What an easy inning for Joe Smith. Took him 8 pitches to retire Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion.
your bid on one-of-a-kind Blue Jays experiences and prizes. All proceeds go to Jays Care Foundation. Visit BlueJays.com/broadcast auction for details. And one of the prizes, how about playing MLB 15 The Show with Russell Martin? And you get to play it on Rogers Center video board. That is very cool. I wonder if in the game you can make Russell Martin jump onto the dugout ledge like he did earlier tonight.
Probably so. That's a great game, and that's one of the wonderful prizes up for bid on the charity auction. New pitcher in the game for the Blue Jays is Liam Hendricks.
Liam pitched in last night's game and had a good fastball and a sharp breaking ball. Solid inning with a strikeout. 1, 2, 3. Faced the bottom of the order. He'll do that again here tonight.
And Carlos Perez made a nice play on Bautista, that little chopper out in front of the home plate.
He really took charge, didn't he?
He called off the pitcher and went out there and got it himself. Perez is from Venezuela. He mentioned he played with the Blue Jays in Lansing in 2012. He was a teammate of Kevin Pillar. Dalton Pompey was there for a bit of time. He caught Anthony DeStefani, who was with the Reds in their rotation. Noah Syndergaard, who was with the Mets in their rotation, and Aaron Sanchez. That was a pretty good core of pitchers they had down there in 2012.
There's a couple more who are really close to the big leagues that was on that team. They're with other organizations.
Perez strikes out. Hendricks gets his first man here in the ninth. Taylor Featherston has moved to third base. Fouls back that first pitch. Hendricks has really picked up velocity since they moved him to the bullpen. He understands he's probably going to work an inning, maybe 2 at the most, out of the bullpen.
So let it fly. That strikeout that he just got from Perez is his 19th in his last 17 2/3 innings coming out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. He has become a strikeout pitcher.
Pitching with a lot of confidence right now. Loop had a good inning in the 8th. He retired the side in order. Pulled on the ground. Donaldson at third. To Encarnacion. 2 down. We'll be right back at it tomorrow evening. It'll be game 4 of this 4-game series. It'll be Matt Shoemaker against R.A. Dickey. Boy, Dickey has been working hard to find that key to unlock that knuckleball. He has thrown just about every day on his homestand with Josh Tolley trying to get that knuckler where it should be. They think they've figured it out.
Yes. With their work down in the bullpen, they think we figured it out. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow night.
The ball is fouled. I think it got Martin and the umpire. Ibar with a bunt attempt fouled it back into the catcher, and I think it bounced and hit the umpire as well. 2 down.
Got a chance to keep that hitting streak alive against the Blue Jays and this season.
10-gamer on the line. He is 0 for 4 so far. There's a little looper into center. Carrera can't make the play. Colabello overran it, and Ibar indeed will extend the hit streak with this triple. The ball got past Colabello. Carrera dove for it. It was beyond his reach, and Colabello, in an effort to back up the play, overran it.
And then missed a heck of an effort by Carrera in center field. Sinking liner off the bat of Ibar, and it's just off of his glove. That is a great look, and then you can see Colabello having his troubles as he overruns it. Ibar picks up on that, and he makes it into third base without a throw.
It's a double, and the air is charged to Colabello, and he tried to reach for that ball once he overran it. So that will extend the hit streak, and they're going to put Trout on.
Let's look at that play one more time. There's Carrera, and then Colabello right there. I think that's where it was. Overrunning it. You can't get an error for overrunning a baseball, but when he reached down with the bare hand, he missed it. And that allowed Ibar to pick up 90 feet.
They're going to put Mike Trout on. Trout reached base in each of his last 3 plate appearances. He singled, homered, and walked.
And he has scored.
Well, that's what he does. Mike Trout scores runs. He has led the American League in runs each of the last 3 seasons. No player has ever led either league for 4 consecutive seasons.
Amazing. He gets on base, he scores runs 3 times tonight.
We've got 31 runs scored for the season. So now Hendricks, he really has to buckle down and try to strand these 2 base runners, and don't be surprised if the Angels try to steal a run here with Krause hitting.
That is why Russell Martin went out there to give the first third defense. He's going to give a sign just in case Mike Trout, if he takes off to steal, where he's going to go with the ball.
Well, this really plays into the Angels' hands if they want to attempt a double steal. Donaldson, the third baseman, has to play well off the line with the lefty bat. With that, Ibar can walk down the third baseline and get a huge lead.
Yeah, he's about 40% of the way towards home plate when that ball is let go. Look at him. He can bounce off even more. I would guess that if Mike Trout took off at first base, they're just going to hold the ball. They're just going to give him second.
Gary DiSarcina, former shortstop, now the third base coach, is flashing the signs and delivers the message verbally to Ibar, the runner at third. Trout not running. 2-1. Krause entered the game as a pinch hitter in the 5th. Pujols got hit by a pitch in the 4th. Played the bottom of the 4th, but when his turn to bat came up in the 5th, he left the game. There goes Trout. Ball is lifted in the air, not deep. Carrera calls for it. Krause is retired. Hendricks strands a pair. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Blue Jays are down 4-3. It'll be Martin, Colabello, and Carrera against the closer, Houston Street.
It is Sportsnet Central with Ken and Ivanka. I'm sure they'll have lots of news regarding the hiring of Mike Babcock by the Toronto Maple Leafs. And on right now on CBC, it's the Rangers and Lightning. It is Game 3 series tied up at 1 apiece. Bucket.
Great job, Barry, and that'll be all coming up right after this ball game. And into the game, Houston Street picked up his 13th save here last night.
2.7 earned run average. You can see the 13 saves. That's tied for second in the American League. Lynn Perkins leads with 14 from Minnesota. Andrew Miller from the New York Yankees at 13. And Houston Street tied him last night with that save. There are the other numbers for Street. He's a control artist, just 5 walks this season. Quick slider, tough against the right-handers, and he throws lots of strikes. And he likes to keep the ball away from the right-handers.
He will stay off the plate. He'll get you to chase pitches, and he's not overpowering, but he's a command and control specialist. Russell Martin 0 for 2 with a walk. Outside. The Blue Jays are 2-7 in one-run games. The Angels 6-7. Martin hits it in the air. Cowgill broke back, and he comes in and makes the catch. 1 down. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osback. Tyler Johnson's had quite a playoff run. Been red hot for the Lightning. And Ivanka, will see you tomorrow night. You'll be the hostess of the Sportsnet Charity Broadcast Auction. It's all presented by TD in support of Jays Care. Street jumps ahead of Chris Colabello. Colabello had an RBI double that drove in the first run for the Blue Jays in the fourth. They would add 2 more that inning, but that's the only inning they've scored tonight.
That's getting too familiar with the team. With this type of offense, they just have not been able to generate more runs in other innings.
Colabello struck out against Street in last night's game. He got a steady diet of that slider down and away.
You keep taking it off the plate just a little bit more. You can see Carrera's on deck, but Justin Smoak is lurking.
Mike Scioscia really has been pleased with the work of Smith and Houston Street. As Pat mentioned, Smith with another hole tonight. That's 13, the most in the majors. High pop over toward the seats. Krause gives it a look, but it's well back out of play. Joe Smith, another 1-2-3 inning. He's worked 2 innings in this series and retired all 6 he's faced.
It's a very different type of 8-9 for Mike Scioscia. You don't have a guy that just overpowers you. You've seen bullpens like that. New York Yankees are like that. It's a bullpen that uses deception and pitch control, be able to hit your spots.
Going away. Oh, he missed. He missed so badly it was up and in, and Colabello strikes out, trying to go down and away. Street strikes out Colabello for the 2nd straight night.
The old backup breaking ball. You're thinking that that ball's going to go away. Look at it. It spins and it stays inside, and as a hitter it looks so tempting. But Colabello comes up empty with that one. 2 down.
So Ezequiel Carrera was the scheduled batter. Justin Smoak will come off the bench and face Houston Street. Smoak 212. He hasn't had many at bats of late.
You know, I thought being in the National League West and facing Houston Street from the National League or American League West that there would be more at bats between these two.
Smoak just 0 for 1 against Street. Falls behind 0-1.
Good changeup. He'll throw more changeups to the left-handers. Turn that ball over.
Fastball away, 90 miles an hour. Street came up with Oakland. 2-1.
That's just for show. That fastball on the outside corner right there. When you get yourself into fastball counts, this is when he'll turn that ball over and throw a changeup. Stay back. Here it comes.
Drilled, and that's going to be a fair ball down the right field line. Calhoun played it perfectly to hold Street to a single. Excuse me, hold Smoke to a single. Justin Smoke hits the single. Here comes Kevin Pillar.
2-1, fastball count. Street throws the changeup. Smoke stayed back on that one and smokes it. Doesn't commit. They want to get him to roll over. They just can't get it airborne. The defense is playing deep. Outfielders are deep. They want no doubles for that reason. As Calhoun plays it off the wall, holds him to a single.
Good job by Smoke. Got the pitch he wanted and hammered it. Kevin Pillar is 6 for 7 in steal attempts. Danny Valencia is 2 for 3 tonight. All against right-handed pitching. Valencia thought it might have been up. Borderline strike. Look how deep they are in the outfield.
Wow. That is Cal Gill in left field, just a couple of steps from the warning track. Mike Trout in center, the same thing, and Colt Calhoun in right field. Nothing over their head, or nothing in the gaps that gets by them to the wall. If it does, that's going to be a tie game.
Oh, and 2.
They also guarding the line at third base. Taylor Featherstone, the third base, and you can see him. He doesn't have to play right on the line, but they tell him if the ball is hooked down there, you got to be able to stop that ball, knock it down.
There goes Pillar. Ball is lifted in the air to right. Cole Calhoun is there. Ball game. The Angels win another one-run game. They improved to 7-7 in one-run games. The Blue Jays lose game 3. Mark Krause with a big 2-run double that came in the 7th to give the Angels the lead.
In the pitching tonight by the Angels, they didn't have any flamethrowers who threw over 90 miles an hour, but they did a good job of mixing their pitches. A lot of off-speed pitches. 7 from their starter, then turn it over to that good bullpen. Mike Scioscia has another win.
Mike Scioscia with the win. Ibar extends his hit streak to 11 straight. It'll be the finale of the 4-game series tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Ken Reed, Ivanka Osback here is Sportsnet Central.